So this is some breaking news. A little, like an hour ago or so, an hour or two. Ron DeSantis has officially announced that he is no longer running in the presidential race. And we're just gonna watch this little video that he posted.
Greetings from Florida. The warmth of being home is a reminder why I've chosen public service. From joining the United States Navy and serving in Iraq to representing the people in the U.S. Congress and now serving as governor of Florida. And it reminds me
Doing such a bang up job of that. I'm surprised he didn't do well in his presidential run. Really surprised.
why I decided to run for president, to fight for those who have been forgotten in this country. This is America's time for choosing. We can choose to allow a border invasion, or we can choose to stop it. We can choose reckless borrowing and spending, or we can choose to limit government and lower inflation. We can choose political indoctrination, or we can choose classical education.
The problem with Ron DeSantis, and it's mostly like the part right there, he kind of spews these like hot Republican talking points that don't really mean anything and don't matter at all right now. I mean, inflation's terrible, don't get me wrong. But like public education, they're just fucking ghouls about that and it's fucking terrible. Border invasion, they blow way out of proportion. But at the same time, like he says all this and the reason why it doesn't work is not because it's not true. Like a lot of us probably know it's not true, but for a lot of these guys' fan base, for people who are very much on the right, they like they truly believe this stuff. But the reason why they're not going to go for DeSantis is because he's just got no charisma. He has no riz whatsoever, unlike Trump, who has a lot of charisma, which is why people kind of attach themselves onto him. Like, he has a certain way of speaking that can really attach people. The way like he just talks, like if he wasn't a serious presidential candidate, it would be fucking hilarious. Just watching him up there and just talking. But because he is a serious person, or at least like he actually means what he says, it's gross, but at least you can kind of see why people are kind of drawn to it a little bit. Ron DeSantis, like, I have no idea why anyone likes him. Like, he has no charisma whatsoever. He has the charisma of a wet paper bag. I don't get it.
These choices are symptoms of the underlying struggle to ensure that constitutional government can endure and that Western civilization can survive. And we launched this campaign to bring accountability to government, regain sovereignty at our border, and restore sanity to our society. We cannot succeed as a country if we allow our nation to be invaded, our currency to be debased, our cities to crumble, and our kids to be indoctrinated.
Ron DeSantis kind of looks like a scrapped Dark Crystal Muppet. This has nothing to do with what he's saying right now. I'm just trying to point that out. He looks like one of those like little, what are they called? The Gelflings? Like he looks like a rejected version of that.
The DC elites who facilitated this mess do not care about you, and they do not work for you. They work for themselves. They seek to accumulate power at your expense to pursue an agenda that is harmful to the American people. Citizens do not serve politicians. It is the duty of politicians to serve you. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. Reversing the decline of this nation requires leadership that delivers big results for the people we are elected to serve. I have a record of leading with conviction, championing an agenda marked by bold colors, delivering on my promises, and defeating the people who are responsible for our nation's decline. That is the type of leadership we need, and we left it all out on the field. Now, following our second place finish in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources. We don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. I'm proud to have delivered on 100% of my promises, and I will not stop now. It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. They watch his presidency get stymied by relentless resistance, and
Let's actually look at that Iowa. Iowa. He didn't even finish second. I mean, no, like This is all the way up to January 14th, like January 15th. Nikki Haley is beating him out. He didn't even get second. He started out second, and then went down and down and down. Was at 22, like 23, then lost 8%. Meanwhile, Trump has been, let's see, been about the same. Actually, he's seen some growth, at least 4% growth. But yeah, he's out. Also, yeah, I forgot to talk about this. Apparently, Ramaswamy is also out, and now he's just, to no one's surprise, just absolutely kissing the boot of Donald Trump. Also, apparently, the Babylon Bee made a very racist article about him. After he said that racism doesn't exist in this country anymore. It's weird. He's such a fucking joke. I don't know where Ron's getting this second place. He barely got it out. Actually, no, Haley overtook him. But still, even with like second place, even with where he was at the start of this, still he's less than half of what Donald Trump had. So like he still didn't have a chance.
And they see Democrats using lawfare this day to attack him. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent.
Do you remember when fucking Ron DeSantis tried to steal Donald Trump's line?
Never see me turning
Okay, this isn't the debate one, but
over
I think
my
he says
office to Dr. Fauci. You don't protect Fauci. You don't coddle Fauci. You bring somebody like Fauci in, you sit him down, and you say, Anthony, you are fired.
And the crowd goes mild. Oh, here we go.
Anthony, you are fired.
God. He has no riz. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. I mean, this has nothing to do with the Fauci quote, but still. He's just such a weird guy. Oh, God. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Ugh. I don't want to hear that
Joe
ever
Biden.
again.
That is clear. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge. He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed-over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents. The days of putting Americans last, of kowtowing to large corporations, of caving to woke ideology are over. I thank all of our passionate supporters who have stood by us through it all. That we had people volunteer to come to Iowa in the middle of a blizzard to knock on doors and make phone calls touched us dearly. No candidate had more thrown at him, but no candidate had so many committed volunteers and staff. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Casey, and our kids, Madison, Mason, and Mamie. Casey's gone far above and beyond in her support for our campaign and for our cause. She's not only a great wife and mother, she's a great American who cares deeply about the future of the country that our kids will inherit. Our kids have seen and done a lot on the trail, from playing on the famed Field of Dreams baseball site in Iowa to making their first snowman in New Hampshire. They are one of the reasons we fight so hard for what we believe in. Winston Churchill once remarked that success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. While this campaign has ended, the mission continues. Down here in Florida, we will continue to show the country how to lead. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is any surprise. I didn't think it was gonna happen this soon, but like he definitely got like taken over. There was no way he was coming out of this. And then we have, people responding to this. Chuds of TikTok. Lamau Little Rhonda is a cuck. This is the most generic monotone concession speech in history. Go back to Florida. DeSantis, we're all happy, dropped out. Also, there has been some funny jokes based on this. I could definitely see this happening. Like Trump just shitting on DeSantis. Just being like, he's a pedo, he has a tiny penis. DeSantis through cheers like, thank you, sir. And we might think he's gay. Trump has there is one problem with Trump going after Ron DeSantis, and it's this nickname right here, which is an actual nickname that Trump gave to him. He called him Ron DeSanctimonious. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Doesn't roll off the tongue that well. But yeah, I mean, it's not that much really when it comes down to it. Like, nobody really thought he was gonna win. He was always gonna be the second choice or the third choice because apparently Nikki Haley's been, I don't know, she's been getting some leeway. I don't think she's gonna get it though. Obviously, Trump trumps them all, and pun intended. But yeah, it's no surprise. I could talk about Ramaswamy, but again, he's not worth the time. This is no surprise. They're just gonna start dropping like flies over and over until it's just Trump. Maybe Haley sticks to it. I don't see it happening though. But yeah, we'll see.